This conference will now be recorded.
All right, welcome everyone. This is our gratitude program with the Oceanside Library. I'm Ocaria DiMango, our adult program coordinator at the Oceanside Library.
Hi, I'm Erin, one of the librarians, and I work in my title is the Archival Local History Librarian.
Great, and we thank you so much for joining us today. It's Wellness Week. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we are kicking off Wellness Week with partners of ours in the community, the Makeshift Movement. They are an organization that brings awareness to mental health, and if you'd like to attend more wellness programs this week, they have a fantastic website. It's themakeshiftmovement.org, and you can check out their schedule for every day, and they've got some really great wellness programs. So we thank you for joining us today. In today's program, we're going to go through the benefits of practicing gratitude every day and then some fun techniques that make practicing a little more fun. It's so easy to get caught up in our busy day-to-day lives, but what makes life extraordinary are the daily, ordinary magic that make up the bulk of our life. Taking note and appreciation for these tiny moments of magic makes for a happier life. Being grateful doesn't imply that you have to view the world as glass half full rather than empty. Being grateful just asks that you shift the lens from what is lacking or not ideal to what is already present and good, if only just for a few moments a day. If you're struggling to find something to be thankful for, start small. There are always things to be grateful for, even on our darkest days. We may have to look harder on those days, and it takes effort, but the reward is great. The simple habit of reflecting on what you're grateful for each day can actually lead to a happier, more content life. And now I'll end with a quote. Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you the more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for. And that quote's by Zig Ziglar. Go ahead, Erin.
So, we are librarians. We're not mental health experts, but we can share what the studies have shown. In our research for this program, we found an article from Forbes.com written by a psychologist and mental strength trainer and bestseller, Amy Morin. And she talks about the 7 scientifically proven benefits of gratitude. So let's get into them. Okay, so the first one is gratitude opens the door to more relationships. Now, there's a study that shows that simply saying thank you to a new acquaintance makes them more likely to seek an ongoing relationship with you. So something as simple as thanking a stranger for holding the door or leaving a thank you note for a coworker who helped you out can lead to new opportunities.
Nice, and that's true. Number 2 is gratitude improves physical health. Grateful people experience fewer aches and pains, and they report feeling healthier than other people, according to a 2012 study. Not surprisingly, grateful people are also more likely to take care of their health. They exercise more often and are more likely to attend regular checkups with their doctors, which is likely to contribute to further longevity. And that kind of makes sense. It all ties in. If your mental health is good, your physical health follows. Go ahead, Erin.
Gratitude also improves psychological health. Having gratitude increases happiness and reduces depression. And gratitude also reduces a multitude of toxic and unhealthy emotions, from envy to resentment to frustration and regret, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. And we'll get into some techniques of how that we can do that too. Number 4, gratitude enhances empathy and reduces aggression. Grateful people are more likely to behave in a pro-social manner, even when others behave less kind. Study participants who ranked higher on gratitude scales were less likely to retaliate against others, even when given negative feedback. They experienced more sensitivity and empathy toward other people and a decreased desire to seek revenge. And this kind of reminds me of, when I write in my journal and I go in with the intention of venting because maybe I'm stressed or frustrated. And so when I begin, I think that I'm going to vent, but then I begin to make a gratitude list, and the gratitude entry instead focuses on the positive and then I begin to feel better. So that makes a lot of sense. Go ahead.
The fifth benefit of practicing gratitude is better sleep. And who wouldn't want that? So something simple as spending as little as 15 minutes before going to bed, writing down a few things you're grateful for can actually help you sleep better and sleep longer.
I think I'm going to start doing that on a nightly basis. Gratitude, number 6, gratitude improves self-esteem. Studies have shown that gratitude reduces social comparisons. Rather than becoming resentful toward people who have more money or better jobs, which is a major factor in reduced self-esteem, grateful people are able to appreciate other people's accomplishments. So, especially if you practice gratitude on a particularly difficult day, then you start to rewire your brain with positivity, which results in a better mood. Again, journaling helps a lot with this.
And number 7 was very interesting. Gratitude increases mental strength. Research has shown that gratitude may play a role in overcoming trauma. There was a study in behavior research and therapy that found that Vietnam War veterans with higher levels of gratitude experienced lower rates of PTSD. And another study found that gratitude is a major contributor to resilience following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. So it shows that being able to see all that you have to be thankful for, even in the worst times of your life, gratitude fosters resilience.
Exactly. All right. Oh,
And now we're going to share some
yes,
techniques for practicing gratitude.
exactly. All right. And while we share some techniques with you, we're going to grace you with some positive quotes along the way. You know, just a touch. Okay, so to start each day with a grateful heart. It's a nice quote. All right, so first technique, Erin and I love this one. It's the gratitude jar. So you can fill this jar with everything you're grateful for. If you don't already have one, create a physical gratitude jar to place in your home and drop grateful notes in each day. I mean, you could make this so fun. You could, you know, choose a really nice jar that you have in your home or a vase. You can get some fun paper and markers and pens and make it a whole experience. And instead of a jar, there's so many different modalities that you can use. There's journaling and there's other things. And Erin, do you have any other suggestions?
I have a suggestion. It's not as classy as the jar, but I put things I'm grateful for in little different colored Post-its in a Ziploc bag. And I keep it in a drawer because it saves on space. But no one's judging however you however you want to do it.
This is a
But then when you're
judgment-free
feeling
zone.
no judgment. When you're feeling like you need a boost or like you need like a little pick me up, I open my bag and I pull out a little note and it does make you feel better. And it reminds you of a
Exactly.
happy memory.
I was just going to say that exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth because you could pull out a little piece of paper that reminds you of a moment. And remember what I said in the beginning, it's those tiny little moments that make up the magic,
And
so
I want to add, while you're doing it, I think it's fun to put a date on each note that you put in your jar or your bag. So then when you pull it out, you're like, oh, that was when, that was around October or whatever, and I remember that. And it's kind of neat to look back over the year or the years that you keep in your jar,
exactly.
just to
And I
give a
think it
little
makes
more
you
context.
appreciate it. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Makes you more appreciative of the time too. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
you can decorate your
this
jar.
Yeah, exactly. Decorate as much as you'd like. I mean, and it doesn't have to be a jar. How many of us love like little boxes? We keep all these little boxes everywhere and we're never, oh, I'm saving this for something special. I don't know what, but I'm going to use it one day. So this is the time. You
Yeah,
can
like
have
a
fun with it.
fancy gift bag.
Exactly.
Be creative.
Go nuts.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Next one.
So shall we go to the next one? Okay. Another example, another gratitude technique to try is a page of moments that you're grateful for this year. this particular year has been a little more unusual, but I'm sure everyone can come up with a few moments that they're grateful for, even during the quarantine, maybe because of the quarantine. Um, if someone offered a kindness, someone offered to help you out, or even just smiled, or like, you're waiting online at Trader Joe's with the other 40 people ahead of you and someone just nods and you're like, we're all in this together. It's,
It's so true.
sometimes there are extraordinary moments, sometimes there's regular moments, but they can still make a big impact. And you can say, what on your gratitude list, moments I'm grateful for this year, what were yours? How did they impact or nurture you or improve you? And you don't need to wait until Thanksgiving or New Year's to work on this. You can do this right now and just reflect back.
It's almost nice to do it multiple times a year, almost quarterly, because it just kind of changes your perspective on the year as a whole. So I think now is an optimal time to do it because, it can be so easy for us to veer towards the negative. Yet there's so much to be grateful for because we've been giving the gift of time, time at home. So, this is the time with family and the time for self-care. So, this is a great technique. Reflecting on the year. I agree.
Here comes a quote. Gratitude turns what we have into enough.
Well said. Well said. All right. So, continuing on the path of reflection, in the year, this can be done again. It could be done in the beginning of the year, like kind of like a New Year's resolution, but again, it could be a reflective technique that you do quarterly throughout the year, or that you can check back on this list, if you create a list now and then a year from, and then throughout the year, you can check back on this. It's things you want to do more of this and less of this. And this is a good time that you can be mindful of your good habits and your bad habits. So especially during this quarantine, because we have so much time to ourselves and we really should be working on some self-care, that's when you can maybe start reflecting on some bad habits that we have, and maybe want to substitute it with more positive habits and practices. So you can add that to the more of this side. And then this technique could also be used in a journal too. If you keep a journal, or you can write it in your phone, your computer, and then reflect on it a year from now or a few months from now and check in on it. All right. And again, I want to remind anyone that if you see a technique that you use or a modified version of it, definitely write it in the chat and share with us. We'd love to hear modified versions of these techniques or something different like it. All right.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. Yes, I read the quote. The art of being happy lies in the power of extracting happiness from common things. All right.
Okay, so this is a fun technique, and I think it might work really well with a family too. Like, it doesn't have to just be like an individual activity. Like, you could do this with your kids or with your adult friends or with your family. It's a gratitude scavenger hunt. And the possibilities are endless here. I really like this one. Some of the things that this particular scavenger hunt says to look for: a place that you love, something that makes you laugh, a gift to make someone else happy, and someone you're grateful for. But
Those are
it's
good
really
compliments.
unlimited. And what is cool is that you can make another activity right out of this. That's like, make a scavenger hunt list of all the things that make you comfortable and make you happy, and things. It says, what is your favorite? Find something that's your favorite color, something to share, and it's just. I think this one would be very fun to do with a family.
I think so too. And it's an easy one too. It's already done for you. It doesn't really require too much thought. So if you are having one of those difficult days, and it's a little bit harder to find something to be grateful for on those days, pull out this list and have a little positivity scavenger hunt. Yesterday, with our program with Malloy, our wellness program, Managing Stress and Anxiety, Kellyanne recommended finding the silver lining and practicing perspective taking, so which is practicing gratitude. And I find that scavenger hunts like this help you find the silver lining to things. Right? Would anyone agree or disagree? Again, write in the chat, or if you have a modified version of the scavenger hunt. Yeah, I really love this one too. This one's my favorite. Okay. When it comes to life, the critical thing is whether you take things for granted or take them with gratitude, by G.K. Chesterton. All right. So this one, it's just consider it a blank page. So consider you do open up a journal or just pull out a blank piece of paper, and you want to write, draw, or paint things that make you happy. You can write down poetry, quotes, or even use it as a mood board by pasting photos or sentimental keepsakes. And I wanted to use this opportunity to this one can be modified in so many ways. I mean, you can go nuts with this. So, I know so many of us have memory boxes, right? Boxes where we put photos, cards from people we love, notes that we want to keep and, remember. So, this could be one of those times that you open up the memory boxes and you can create a mood board with those memories. And then also something else I learned from our programs with Malloy Counseling is photo journals too. So instead of writing on a blank piece of paper, you can photograph things that you are grateful for. So one thing that Kellyanne suggested, and I actually did, she recommended this on the first week with one of our first programs with the library, one of our first programs during quarantine. And she said that she was, because we are quarantined during spring, she was beginning to take a picture of a tree budding. So she would take photos throughout its growth, so all the different phases. So I took on that fun strategy, I guess, or fun technique. And I took some pictures of some trees in my backyard, and it's really nice to look back on the pictures and see them growing. So maybe I'll share them with you guys later. I may have them on the computer to show off. But it does make me, when I look back on those photos, it makes me so grateful that we have this home, that we have this beautiful property, and then we have these beautiful trees to look at every day and make us happy. So, really, this technique can work in so many different modalities, so many different platforms. All right.
All right. This technique is a gratitude list. And this particular one says, list 10 ways you can share your gratitude with other people in the next 24 hours. And of course, you can modify this. And since I'm kind of lazy, I might do list 5. But maybe someone else is more ambitious and they want to do 20 different ways. But it doesn't really matter how many as long as you do it. So like an example could be a simple phone call to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or sending a card or sending a gift to somebody. My new thing is sending new Pyrex containers to my relatives because it's functional and they're fun and there's like something new, but you can use it. I enjoy doing something for somebody else, and that makes me feel better. So just a different technique, but however, 10 different ways that you can share your gratitude is going to help.
Agreed. And it's almost like paying it forward, because you can do something nice for someone else, and then because of your showing of gratitude, your expression of gratitude, that it changes that person's day, that person's perspective, and they can go on and express their own form of gratitude moving
It
forward.
is.
So
It's pay it forward.
yeah, so this one's pretty powerful, and it's so simple and easy.
And
All right.
fun.
And fun. Exactly. All right. So this one may be small on the screen. I hope everyone can see it. Oh, hold on a sec. We have a chat. Jessica said,
Oh,
anytime I travel, I send postcards to friends and family, and I have a bunch sitting in my apartment, which I'm still sending randomly to people I think need a pick-me-up. Oh, that's a
nice.
great idea. Oh, I'm definitely going to take that on. Because you're right, when you're traveling, you want to share that with others, and but collect, but buying a few more and bringing it home with you, saving it for a rainy day, that's a really good idea.
And
Thank you
that's
for
a
sharing.
special thing for someone to get in the mail too. That's a nice idea.
Exactly. And sometimes I'm afraid that the age of postcards have kind of gone away. Because when you're on a vacation, you take a photo and you send it to the whole family, and like that kind of becomes the postcard. But there's nothing like getting snail mail. I love that. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for snail mail. Oh. So, here are some daily journal prompts. So continue your gratitude practice using the journal prompts below in the blank pages ahead. So I got this from a gratitude journal, so that's why it says that. But you can reuse these prompts either every month or every year. Journal prompts sometimes just makes it a little bit easier. We sit in front of a blank piece of paper, and we just have to start from scratch, and that's where sometimes it can seem so cumbersome, and why some people are not attracted to journaling, because they don't have the time, right? That's what so many people say.
Or
But
they
what
don't
I've
know what to
learned
write.
exactly, and this assists with that. If you don't know what to write, this can kind of point you in a more positive direction. So like I was saying before, sometimes I sit in front of the journal and I may be frustrated or I want to vent, but these journal prompts will make me, rewire my brain and just give me a different perspective. So that's the beauty of these prompts. So a few favorites that I had, and they're simple, but they do a lot. Who helped you today? So that really rewires, if you're frustrated or you're venting, and it makes you focus on the people that you were grateful for that day. Um, Name something in nature that you're grateful for. So especially with all of these, it's springtime, with everything changing outside, I'm sure we're all going for walks and pointing, and we're so grateful for so many of these things in nature. Um, what person in your past are you most grateful for? And that sometimes makes us reflect and be grateful for those people. And what was the other favorite I had? Hold on, let me just pick it out. Name a place that makes you happy. So that also makes you reflect and, you know, just kind of be grateful for those memories and those places. But Erin, do you have any favorites you want to shout out?
Oh, I wanted to shout out to our colleague Brianna for her journaling program. It just inspired me to do it.
Oh,
Um,
it looks like she inspired both of
being
us
a friend
because
you're
she's the
grateful
one
for
who
and
got me.
why. What was that?
It looks like she
Yeah,
inspired both
she's
of us.
brilliant. Yes, and then that's her. Name a friend you're grateful for and why.
Perfect. That was well said. And she even said that on days that, again, you might sit in front of the journal and you have no idea what to write, maybe you look at these journal prompts, nothing's inspiring you. So she's like, some days I just put a sticker. I just put a sticker down with my mood. But even something as simple as that will make you smile. The therapeutic nature of just kind of going through the stickers and picking the one that you want. And then when you end up putting it on the page, you end up writing a little something. And if you practice gratitude in those moments, if you really don't have anything to write one thing that you're grateful for that day, that evening, or that morning. Um, and I promise you, it will change. It will make you feel better. All right. And we have one last quote. You want to go
What
ahead,
is
Erin?
that? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It is not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude that brings us happiness.
It's so true. I mean, with all of this that we've been talking about, this practice that we've been talking about, um, you know, as you practice gratitude and you kind of go through the list, you're happy in the end of it. It does work. All right. So now we are finished with our presentation. So I'll end the recording here and we'll open it up to discussion.